Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the If-Bomb for the Coon Prairie Ramblers. Yes, sir. Here we go. We got the KC, who harmonizes with the whistle. We got the main whistler. And
we got Whistler's mother. Whistler's brother
I
over
just
here.
go along for the ride.
Whistler's brother.
Yeah.
Are you ready? All right, boys and girls and everything in between.
Hubba, hubba.
Trap it down.
Here she comes.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Dude.
Mercy.
Okay.
Oh, I hope that wasn't.
Okay, what is it, KC?
Kim Jong-il. I hope that wasn't Kim Jong-il.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Kim Yin Yang or whatever
we
his name is.
better improve ours because he's improving his.
Kim Ding Dong, whatever that knucklehead's name is.
Kim Possible.
Somebody said the other day, he's always wanting to kill everybody or whatever, but it's amazing that his barber's still alive.
That's true.
All right. What's our F-bomb there, Brother Casey?
I had a call about revisiting one of our old, from my sister, one of our old F-bombs. And that was, what if you could go back in time?
Oh, yeah.
And relive a day.
Yeah.
Just that day. You couldn't change that day. You couldn't do anything, but you would just
relive it.
Relive it.
Enjoy it. Enjoy that day.
Not worrying about the future or what's going to happen or be thinking of anything else. Just enjoying the moment. Living in the moment.
Yeah.
Mel, where would you go?
Yeah.
Well, anywhere.
It would be way back when I was a little bitty boy.
Oh,
It
boy.
was a little boy.
And the devil
Back in
called my name.
Ohio.
Yeah. And it was back when my daddy was still living with us. So it was before I was 10. It was probably about when I was 7 or 8 when we lived on Lamb's Farm in
Lamb's Farm?
near Washington Courthouse, Ohio.
They have lambs up there?
Oh, no, it was Drummond's Farm. Every place we lived had somebody's name. Like it was Drummond's Farm or it was Lamb's Farm.
Boone's Farm?
Boone's Farm.
Over there next to Strawberry Hill?
Oh, speaking of, hey, that would have been a good day.
Oh, he's having another flashback now.
That would have been a good day to go back and relive because that's the day I got into my dad's Boone's Farm wine.
Hooch.
Yeah. Oh, it was good.
What was it?
But I mean-
where were we going?
Oh, okay. Well, where I really want to go, I'll tell you about that one some other day.
Oh, boy. After we turn the microphones off.
Yeah. Family time, we didn't have, where there was a few good times where we had good family time. You know, when my dad was around, usually when my dad was around, we weren't having a good family time, you know, but there was some times when it was good. And I remember we lived in Alma, Ohio. Alma wasn't even a crossroad. It was just a speck on the road on Route 23 heading down to Waverly. It was just there was just a couple buildings there. It was called Alma, and we lived there in a pink house.
All right.
Even as a kid, I'm thinking, why is our house pink?
Yeah.
But anyway,
I just slept outside.
But we would, as a family, we would walk down this Blaine Highway to this bridge where there was a creek, and we'd go swimming in that creek. Well, I hadn't learned how to swim yet. And I remember sitting on the beach, not on the beach.
The bank.
The bank. Yeah, we'd have a beach.
Down by
sitting
the
on the
banks
bank,
of the
and the bank
Ohio.
was kind of like high, so everybody was jumping and diving off the bank. And my adrenaline starting to rush, you know, because I'm not in the water because I didn't know how to swim, and the water was deep, and there was no shallow area in that creek. You know, it was just as soon as you got into it, it was deep. So I was so excited watching my brother dive off, and my dad, he was doing jackknives, and he was doing all kinds of gyrations off that bank, and my mother she could only dog paddle. She couldn't get her head underwater. So, but she was there, and everybody's just jumping. I got so excited that I jumped up and I tore off, and I jumped into I leaped off the bank and into the water. Did a
splash. Where's Mel?
Face splat into the water, and then I went down, down, down. And I remember going down, and I remember going blubble, 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 blubble.
What do I do now?
Yeah, what do I do now?
Hit the bottom and kick your way back up.
And then all of a sudden I felt a hand grab me by my shirt or my shorts and pull me up. It was my brother, my big brother, Doug.
Yeah.
And he pulled me up, and he's done that twice in my life.
What?
Pulled me out of the water, yeah.
Well, did you swim?
I would love, the reason I would love to revisit that is just like surely I could have, I can't believe I just sunk to the bottom of the water. Like, I thought you just jumped in and you start swimming.
Suppose you didn't swim that day?
No, my brother eventually taught me later on.
You had to get back out of the water then.
When you jump in water like that and you do just go down,
Yeah.
and before you start to swim,
Yeah.
make sure which direction you're swimming.
That's right.
You don't want to swim
Well, I was
further down.
pointed the wrong way. Yeah.
You can swim sideways a long ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, how deep is this?
Hey, I didn't even go for it. It's just I went straight down.
And you was how old about?
I was probably second grade.
About 7.
I'm surprised I hadn't learned how to swim yet, but maybe I just didn't have that many opportunities. But after that, we did do. I did learn how to swim right after that because my brother brought me back several times and taught me how to swim.
Otherwise, there'd been just 2 of us here today.
Yeah.
You would have drowned.
Yeah, I've just been fish bait.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. How about you, KC, in the Moonshine Gang?
I would go
What
back
day would you go?
to Thanksgiving Day
Oh, an eating day.
many
That makes
years
sense.
ago,
Food.
back when my mother and father were still alive and active.
Yeah.
And
Excuse me?
we used to have a tradition, and Thanksgiving was always my favorite holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to go to the woods, and they would cook ribs over an open fire. They'd build a fire, and they'd let the wood burn down the coals, and then shovel the coals underneath the grate that was built right there. I mean, it wasn't like a barbecue grill. It was like, a wood grill. And they'd shovel a coal there and slow cook those ribs, and they were delicious. And everybody bought their favorite or their finest side dishes and desserts, and it was just a wonderful time. Everybody was just happy and,
Yeah.
joyous and glad to see each other. We had some people that came from out of town, some people you wouldn't see as much. We had guests, and we had I don't know how it kind of became this way, but it was myself, our family, and my uncle, and my cousins from his, and Earl Carlton and a bunch of his family, and my Aunt Edna. And that's basically the core of what it was. Excuse me.
But you had many of those. Was that one particular day?
No, it was
Just
a tradition every
Yeah.
Thanksgiving you get
Yeah.
together. And as a matter of fact, we had a front page pictorial write-up in the Miami Herald of one of our particular meals out there.
It must have been pretty epic.
man.
It was. But the reason being is that one of Earl Carlton's brothers,
Worked for the
I think it was
newspaper.
Smiley. Was it Smiley or, well, I don't know. His wife was a editor of the food edition of the
Oh, there's a
Miami
connection
Herald.
right there.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And the headline
she-
says,
as a matter
look
of
how
fact-
these people eat.
She also has a cookbook that I have somewhere that she wrote about Florida cracker cooking. And it's pretty good. Her name was Lois Carlton.
Do you have a copy of that?
I do. And as a matter of
Not
fact,
the
and
cookbook,
that's-
but the other thing you were talking about that was in the paper.
yeah, I do somewhere.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And
Don't let the roaches eat it.
I was at like a rummage sale at a church or somewhere one day, and somebody had a bunch of books. They had a lot of books. They were cookbooks, and I was looking through. I always look up through the cookbooks. I'm looking through one, and all of a sudden I see this book by Lois Carlton.
There you go.
I said, "Man, I got to buy it." I bought it for like $1.
Oh, no. Wow.
It wasn't a hardback, but it's a good little cookbook.
That's cool, though, to have family.
But that's where I'd be,
Yeah.
and it's just a good time. I'd love to see my mom and dad as a
Yeah.
younger, vibrant people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see them as when they
Yeah.
in the older age.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them in
Oh, yeah. Me. That's,
like 40s maybe.
yeah. Yeah, the reason I didn't mention the reason I wanted to go back and visit that day at the creek was because we didn't have that many days. We didn't have that many times as a family that we had those fun things.
That's why it stands out so much.
Yeah, that's why.
Not just so you could see if you drowned yourself.
Yeah, I kind of got lost in the story there, but that was the main reason for wanting to go back.
Luke,
back
have you
around.
had any memories jarred so far, or that?
You got so many that you don't know which one to choose from.
Yeah, right.
So many good ones. All those Sunday afternoons eating leftovers or fresh food.
The tradition
Always
that
fresh.
y'all have right now of gathering together and having Sunday
Family Sunday dinner.
get together,
Yes.
was that started years ago when you were a kid, or is that something
Not,
as an
not
adult?
only since the grandkids came along. We didn't do it. Well, all the family was there when I was growing up or whatever, but we didn't start it until
No.
daughters got married.
Do
Started
both
having
of your
babies.
daughters come?
Yeah, bring the grandkids.
Now, your one daughter lives away. So,
Yep, she
But
comes.
she goes to church here.
She drives from Sebring over here for
Sebring,
church
it's
twice a
Sebring,
week.
Yeah.
Yes.
that's-
Sebring.
And she goes to church over here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, why is she?
Does she have
works
to?
over there.
Does she
works.
bring
She brings food.
food to
She
cover
brings
days?
food. Yeah. We got a separate Facebook page just for what's for supper, what's for lunch on Sunday, and just the families on it. And they say, "What I'm bringing this, and you're bringing that, or whatever." And
Great.
so we see what's coming. Before we didn't do that, and you wind up with three pans of green beans and
Oh, I'd like to be
nothing
a
else.
fly on that Facebook page.
I would tell anybody out there that's listening to us right now, if you're younger,
Yeah.
any bit younger than we are,
You are
or
going to be
you're
younger than us.
whatever age, whatever, start a family tradition. It
That's
doesn't
right.
have to be something that y'all did 10 years ago. It could be something you start today. I've told y'all before, and we have a tradition of having a sibling Saturday.
Right,
Once
that's a great
a
one.
month, we get together at a restaurant, and we go and drive, because my sister lives in Orlando, and meet somewhere in the middle, and we have just a little get-together, and then we sit around and talk, and
That's important.
and we love to do it. So if you can start some tradition, getting together for a little bit or whatever else you can do, I'd highly suggest that you get
I'm
together
hoping
and
our
do it.
kids or grandkids will carry on the tradition with their grandkids one day. But anyway, we're out of time again for this week. So what's the frequency, Kenneth?
1480 AM on your radio dial, Arcadia's news and information station.